Good morning, everyone from Fort Worth, Texas. Evening to wherever you are. I know we've got some that are at 5 in the evening, some that are at 6 o'clock. I just want to take a time to say thank you for joining us. My name is Mandy Castro, and I serve TCU as the Assistant Vice Provost and Dean of Admission. And I've had the pleasure of serving TCU in the Office of Undergraduate Admission since 2017. I'm so excited to be with you today. I first want to congratulate you on your admission to TCU and for being a part of our inaugural first semester abroad program. You have blazed your own path by taking your first ever college classes in a new country, meeting new people, learning about new cultures, and taking on new adventures. We can't wait to hear about all of your experiences when you return. So we're thrilled to welcome you to your next adventure here in Fort Worth, Texas, and we're busy preparing for your arrival. And we have an hour today with some of TCU's best. On this webinar, we can't see you. However, we can see your questions. So please put those into the Q&A. And we have some folks working behind the scenes, our Vice Provost Heath Einstein, our Director of Admission Marketing, Jenny Moore, and some others that will help feed us some of those questions as you pose them. So we'd love for you to add your name, your incoming major, which school you're currently studying at, and we'll be able to greet you, and we'll have some time to go over some of their questions that you may have together. This is being recorded, so if you have some doubts or if you don't get to view the whole recording, we will send it out to you afterwards. So, as I mentioned, we have two of TCU's greats here with us today. And I'll start introductions with our Chancellor, Daniel W. Pullin, who was inaugurated as Texas Christian University's 11th Chancellor just this year. As Chancellor, he's dedicated to advancing TCU's mission and vision and an entrepreneurial spirit and unwavering commitment to our students' success. Before serving as Chancellor, Pullin served as TCU president since 2023, excuse me. He first joined TCU in 2019 as the John V. Roach Dean of the Neely School of Business. And in 2024, he established the university's first Office of Strategy and Innovation to foster TCU's forward-thinking strategies. Culture of innovation, ensure TCU remains competitive in a rapidly changing educational landscape. And through his leadership and executive team, TCU has seen significant increases in student success outcomes. Research, creative activity expenditures, athletic successes, engagement with the Fort Worth community, and beyond. So we're very excited to have Chancellor Pullin at the helm. I'll turn it over to you. Chancellor Pullin, can you introduce yourself in your own words and tell us a little bit about your TCU story, maybe including your path to get here or what you think makes TCU so special?
Whoa, well, great. Well, thanks, Mandy. Yeah, it's a great opportunity to visit with everyone. Congratulations. It's a really great time to be a Horned Frog. I know I felt that way over the last 7 years that I've had a chance to hold a variety of leadership positions here at Texas Christian University. I've been in higher ed about 20 years overall, but before that, I was in the private sector in strategy consulting and private equity investing. So I have a pretty interesting background where I understand how higher education can flourish by operating at the intersection of the community and academics. And so much of what we do is preparing our students not just to graduate and have a great experience while in undergrad, but also preparing them to lead, whether that's with industry or other great community organizations. So hopefully we'll get to unpack that a little bit as we get into it. But I started off as the John V. Roach Dean at the TCU's Neely School of Business. And was able to work with some amazing faculty and outstanding student leaders to help grow both the size and impact of that significant component of what we do here at TCU. And then served as president for a couple of years as I was transitioning into now the the chancellor role, which is exciting and a really great opportunity to help us execute on that strategic plan and at every turn do right by our amazing students. So I'm excited to get to visit with you today.
Thank you. All right. Dr. Wormley is our second um, uh, VIP for the day. And it's such an honor to get to share space with you all and hear your vision about TCU. I'd like to welcome our provost, Dr. Floyd Wormley, who joined TCU in 2019 as an associate provost for research and dean of graduate studies. He was appointed to his role as provost in January of this year and serves as the university's chief academic officer. He has worked to advance research, scholarship, creative activities, and playing a pivotal role in as TCU embarks on this new strategic plan. We've mentioned that a couple of times. We may have to talk about some TCU values here. So during his tenure here, he's more than doubled TCU's external research expenditures and has enhanced the overall student experience and professional development opportunities. Provost Wormley, welcome. Would you mind sharing your path to TCU and your favorite part about our university?
Well, thank you. And first of all, thank you for the opportunity to be here to talk to some of our future Horned Frogs. First thing I want to make clear, when we talk about the VIPs is definitely our Dean of Admissions, Mandy Castro, and our 11th Chancellor, Chancellor Pullin. So I'm just happy to be here to breathe a little bit of the same air that they're breathing on our beautiful campus. And so, as mentioned before, I came here to be the Associate Provost for Research and Dean of Graduate Studies. And that is after serving in a previous role in San Antonio, where I led research and graduate studies at the University of Texas at San Antonio. I spent all of my academic life in the sciences and academia, doing research, service, teaching. And so it's not unusual that you will have a provost that has focused most of their career on doing those sort of things. But what keeps me bound to the world of academia is how academics and how academia and getting that first or in the case of professional and graduate school, maybe that second or third degree, how can really transform lives, not just from a financial standpoint, but also in a worldview standpoint, to be able to see bigger and greater things. I was only able to travel to different parts of the world because of my research and my ability to present research and scholarship all over the world. And so that opened my eyes to what the world would be. What also opened my eyes to the world was just actually being on a college campus and being exposed to people from all over the world, international students from the north, south, east, and west, and taking the time to talk with them about their background, some of their cultures, and things that they do. And so the education that one can get at a university is not just in the classroom. It's also by being involved in clubs, talking to students. And what drew me particularly to TCU was our commitment to the undergraduate student experience. And to not just that our students perform well in the classroom, but when they get to campus, that we look after the whole student. We take a holistic approach to developing responsible citizens and ethical leaders for a global community. And so that means that we're concerned about your health from a physical and a mental standpoint. We're always concerned what are you doing in the classroom and outside the classroom by the extramural activities that we're able to provide you, bringing speakers to campus, connecting you with employers, because again, we want to get you that job afterwards, or also bringing recruiters on campus if you're interested in graduate or professional school. So we are not only interested in your time here, but that you use this as a launching pad for a great future. But also, we want to also have your experience to be so great that you come back to campus and visit us. Oftentimes, we have people who drop in on our faculty or drop in even on our administrators to say thank you for the work that you've done and how can we contribute. And so a university that does that, focus on the whole student, in such a way that makes students want to come back to ask, how can I give back? It's a college campus that I am proud to be a member of and that I want to facilitate moving forward. Again, being the chief academic officer, my job is in an academic standpoint, but I work very well and close with our VC of Student Affairs, buildings and grounds. We talk about everything that we can do to work together to advance the experience for our students. And I would tell you that our chancellor, he is 100% committed to making sure that your experience will be experience unlike any other world in this global community that we serve.
I love that. What a great lead in. Now we get to have a conversation with those who are in attendance. And I want to start with just a few questions that we often receive from incoming students and families. This question is for both of you. I know that Chancellor Pullin got his start in the classroom. He still teaches to this day. Dr. Wormley, high in involvement on all of the academic front and has done, like he's mentioned, all of his research. I love that he started as this dean of the graduate college, and now he's moved into this undergraduate space as well, and cites the involvement with undergraduate students and our commitment to them as one of the reasons that he loves being here. Anyway, I digress. TCU prides itself on offering a personalized academic experience. Dr. Wormley, I'm pitching this to you. How does that commitment come to life in the classroom?
So when we talk about personalized, there's a couple of ways that it comes to light in the classroom. One is that you're not just a number. Our faculty know you by name. They know you when you're there. And unfortunately, for some of you, not many of you, they're going to know you when you're not there. And how do I know that? Because when we have students, for example, who are not in the classroom for whatever reason, they actually reach out to us to do wellness checks on our students just to make sure that they're okay. So that's something that for some of the parents who are joining in, that's something that they are also grateful of, that we're looking after our students. But our students are also working hand in hand with our faculty on their scholarship, whether it be on books, manuscripts, in the theater, dance, or in the research laboratory. Us undergraduate students work hand in hand with our faculty on their scholarship. Also, we are very committed to community engagement, and so we oftentimes have our faculty work together with our students in community service. Whether it be arranging for shuttles and buses so that our faculty, staff, and students can go and conduct these community projects together. But again, it's in the classroom where we try to maintain a good class student to faculty ratio in our classroom so we can have a more personal experience, where we have our faculty working with our students on research projects or helping them gain those internships and other experiential learning opportunities, or working with them on community service opportunities. Our faculty and staff work hand in hand with our students to make sure that they have whatever they need to succeed, but also that they feel grounded to the university as their university, not just a university that they attend.
Dr. Wormley, one of the questions that came in was about, do people on campus know there are students arriving in the spring from the first semester abroad program? Would you mind talking through maybe the UNLF course?
Yes, and so one thing that's very important to us is to have something in place so that our students can be acclimated to the campus, what's going on, where to go get help, community services, just to know about our campus. And so what we specifically designed a UNLF course, which stands for undergraduate something life something. Good thing I'm not running for president, but nonetheless, the course is designed so that our students we have faculty who take our students through the life of being a college student, what they need to do to be successful in the classroom, where they need to go to get mental health services, where they need to go about career services, and how they can be successful in the classroom. And we specifically designed some sessions specifically for our students who are coming for the spring semester, because oftentimes the fall semester and spring semester experience is a little bit different from a student who's never been to a college campus, who's never taken college courses. So we specifically tweaked some sessions of our UNLF course specifically for our students who are joining us from abroad in the springtime. And so this is going to be a great course to get you grounded to the university. But we just don't have that. We also have some other events that's going to be specific for you that I believe Mandy's going to talk about later. So I don't want to spoil it. So I'm just going to a little teaser right there. But we are looking to specifically design experiences so that when you come to campus that you feel immediately connected to campus. I'm not one of those provosts that believes that you need to be at a campus for 1 or 2 to 3 years for you to feel connected to our campus. My thought is if it takes you more than a semester to be connected to your campus, we didn't do a good enough job. And so our goal is that within weeks, you're going to know where to go for assistance, where to go for help, and that you will know the intimate details about our campus and how you fit into our campus. And so UNLF course is just one thing, but also again, talk to our faculty, talk to our student affairs staff, whatever, talk to me. I'm available. I meet with students all the time. Our chancellors, I can't go anywhere on campus with our chancellor and get there on time because he's always being pulled to the side by students and he's always there to give the students whatever time they need. So ask us what we can do to make your experience and your time here better.
I love that. That nicely leads into my next question, which I'll pitch to you, Chancellor Pullin. Students often tell us about how impactful their professors were on their time in college and long after graduation. How do our faculty mentor and support our students?
Yeah, well, I'm qualified to answer this question because I'm still a faculty member and I still teach an entrepreneurship class every year. So sometimes chancellors or presidents can get a little out of touch from what's really happening on the day-to-day, classroom, laboratory, performance hall basis. But I try to make that investment because we're such a student-forward university, and I feel like I'm a better chancellor because I'm keeping my fingers on the pulse of the student voice and really listening to what's going right and what we can always continue to improve. And then, obviously, TC is a large enterprise, so I love to teach because it keeps my business skills sharp, so to speak, to make sure that we're operating the university as efficiently as we can to generate the highest return on investment for our students and their families. And so I love the way we approach teaching and research. We have something called the teacher scholar model, which really asks all of our faculty members to invest at the individual student level. That's why our class sizes remain small. And also to bring their thought leadership, not on what used to be, but what is about to become. And so we're always conducting research to make sure that our curriculum and the student experience is as relevant and market ready as possible, regardless of what the field of study is. And so it's a very special place where we have faculty that value both in equal ways, and that whole ethos spills out, and even beyond the classroom, the way our amazing staff invest in student success, all of the services, some of which the provost mentioned, but even specifically career services, as I think about what we do to get our students ready and open doors of opportunity as early as the moment they sit on campus. One of the beautiful things about TCU is that we sit in Fort Worth, Texas, which is part of one of the largest and fastest growing major metro areas in the country. And what that means is that, you could throw a rock and hit like 23 different Fortune 500 companies, lots of opportunities for students to get early experience, experiential learning, internships, build strong networks and relationships that can benefit them certainly during their time as a student, but also as they progress throughout their careers as they build them in the context of life. And in fact, we think about TCU as not just an investment of 4 years. I mean, it is, but it's really an investment that has a lifelong tail of benefits that accrue to the alum. And that's why it's so fun to watch our students interact with our alumni, because everybody's for you here at TCU, and everybody continues to pour in to that next generation of students. And that certainly that starts with our faculty and continues to our staff. But I would count our alumni and many of our community partners in that mix as well. And so it's a kind of place where if you can dream it, you can do it at TCU. And I've seen that from the student perspective. I've seen that certainly from our alumni perspective, and then everybody in between. So I think it's a pretty great way to start with a concept called a teacher scholar model and see that benefit someone through every single chapter of their lives.
I love that. We have a question about parents often want to know how TCU helps students connect their academic experience to their real world success. And I think you just touched on that. But maybe taking it one step further, how does TCU prepare graduates to be confident and competitive in their careers or in their graduate studies?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take the first part of that. Maybe the provost can talk about the graduate study part of that. Um, so, it's more than an education at TCU. It's a full experience, and that includes professional development experiences. And so, because we have such strong alumni, such connectivity, and such a wonderful community against which to run a university, our students are being coached up from day one. They have access to amazing mentors. Some of them are employees at TCU, but many of them are not people who really care about this place and want to invest in our current students, just as they were invested in, during their time on campus, years earlier. And so, we could talk about a variety of specific examples across any majors, but suffice it to say that regardless of your choice of major or college, every student will have the opportunity to have an experiential learning moment, whether that's a research project, whether that's an internship, whether that's being mentored, maybe that's service learning in the community. There are hundreds of examples of how that works, but it is more than just an education. You get a full experience as you're being prepared to be not just a college graduate, but the citizen leaders I think our society needs now more than ever.
Such a great governing mission statement to guide us through that process. Dr. Wormley, how would you talk about the preparation for graduate studies?
And so, but first, I want to do a little cleanup on aisle 9, and that is the UNLF is for our introduction to university life course. So, just wanted to clean that up real quick.
That's the UN. That would be the university, and the LF
Yeah,
would be the life.
life. Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you,
So,
Provo.
I want to make sure I have a job next week. When we talk about preparation for particularly for our undergraduate students for like graduate studies or professional careers, we because we have our faculty and because we have our staff and students who are involved in researching going along those paths, we kind of know what it takes to prepare our students for those particular careers. So we put them in those situations to prepare them while they actually are on the undergraduate side. So how do we do that? We have, for example, on our campus, we actually have research seminars that we actually have our students participate in. So they're learning from the student side how to give a seminar. And guess what? Our students actually give a seminar, the same sort of seminars that they would give if they were in graduate school or professional school. We also have research sessions in which our students present their research, not just sit up there and stand by their research poster, that they actually have to walk faculty through their research to explain what they actually did. We found that prepares our students for when they go on interviews for graduate school as well as for professional schools because we interview students, we know the type of questions are asked, and one question that they always ask is, describe to us your research and what we did. So our students are placed in a position where they have to present their research, describe their research, and they do it enough times so that they do it with confidence. Because throughout their journey, whether they are a first-year student or a fourth-year senior, that they've had multiple opportunities to present their research. But it's not just in a sort of STEM sort of environment. We also connect them with internship opportunities in the workspaces that they want to go into so that they're able to work alongside entrepreneurs, technicians or others, where they gain the hands-on experience so that when they arrive for that interview, whether it be in graduate school or professional school, they actually know from doing and being able to apply the skills that they learn on campus. And so what we do is we just don't go from a intellectual sort of thinking about it. We actually do hands-on application so that our students are able to apply whatever they're learning in the classroom to what they would need to be doing in the workforce. And they also learn to critically evaluate things. And so when asked a question that there is no answer to, they're able to think on their feet to come up with solutions that are plausible enough so that the people who are interviewing them know that these people actually know what they're talking about. So we just don't prepare students and give out, we're not a diploma mill. We prepare students for their careers. We prepare students for graduate school and professional schools by putting them in the positions while they're an undergrad to be able to handle that and to do that and to display that they can handle that moving forward. When I write letters of recommendation letters for graduate and professional schools, I'm able to say how a student has been able to display that they are prepared for that next step, not because of how well they did in the classroom, but all the activities and the other experiences that they've had to show that they are ready for that next step. And on top of that, we have various institutes and centers that are also providing these opportunities for our students by working with the centers and institutes, but also working with our community partners to prepare our students. So we use multiple different ways to prepare our students for professional and graduate school. And we actually have place more students in medical school, if that is your career choice, than pretty much any other undergraduate institution in the country. We more than double our success rate by getting students into medical school and health-related careers. And so, if that's what you want to do, this is actually the only choice, which is why many of you decided to come here.
I think that we take this to the next level simply because we interviewed all of the institutions that you're at as well as a partner institution for TCU. So the foundation was laid even for you all as you started someplace else, and we'll bridge into our curriculum here. So I want to just briefly touch on our sense of belonging because it can make a difference in the student's overall college experience. What are some ways that TCU fosters the connection and community? And I know that we don't have our student life friends on the call, but I think we're all decently versed in all of this. Chancellor Pullin, I'll throw that one to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I think it'd be hard to find another university that invests so significantly in community. We have four core values. Excellence is one, integrity is one, engagement is one, but the last one is community. And so, regardless of where you're from or what you're studying or your lived experiences to this date, we meet every single student where she is to really listen first and then make sure that we provide the wraparound success services so holistically every one of our students can be successful. And the numbers bear that out. We have record retention rates at about 94%, record graduation rates. Job placement rates are approaching 100% with record starting salaries and great grad school placements and on and on. But you don't get those outcomes without really operating at the individual student level and listening first and then acting accordingly. We have over 250 student organizations that from career specific ones to just fun social opportunities. We have a thriving Greek community with fraternities and sororities as one example. We have amazing, we have like a venture club where if you like kayaking and camping, you can connect with people that share similar interests. We have a Dungeons and Dragons club. I don't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons, but some of our students really like Dungeons and Dragons, and so they connect in that way. And if you don't find what you're looking for, you can just start it. We have new student organizations start every year, and so if somebody came up to us just the other day, and we serve Pepsi on campus. And somebody came up to me and said, "Well, I kind of like Coca-Cola. So is there a way that we can start a Coca-Cola club?" And we're like, "Well, maybe. Let's talk about it." And so whatever your interests are, whatever you're passionate about, whatever you want to learn about, whoever you want to connect with, that's all very possible and tangible here at TCU. And I think once you're connected to a place, and you will be, because you've had a really strong start by actually putting yourself in a growth position by studying abroad, and you're going to actually bring so much to the campus, like the richness of your first semester experience overseas. You've learned so much about not only other countries and political systems and economic environments, but you've learned a lot about yourself already, like as you've had to navigate those and be successful through that that uncertainty. So yes, college, and TCU's campus, maybe there's some uncertainty as to what that's going to be like from your perspective. But all of you are like real pros now. Like you should have not only experience, but the confidence that you're going to be successful at TCU and be able to connect with people, whether they're a lot like you or not like you at all. You should be able to connect and feel like you belong here very, very quickly. So I'm excited for your arrival from that perspective.
And if I can just say one thing, I want to flip it a little bit, and that is what makes a bigger place small is that when you get involved with clubs, involved with your community, and you are going to have an experience that many of our undergraduate students have not yet experienced, and that is travel abroad. So let them know about the experience. Let them know about how to navigate it, particularly those who are interested in study abroad. Let them know about how to navigate the system and Europe and your experience, and you utilize what you've learned, your expertise, to kind of help benefit some of your other students on campus. So get involved. Each and every one of you have a unique set of skills. And this is not, I guess that may sound like the Taken movie, but you have a unique set of skills and a unique set of experiences that only you can share with our community. And that itself is something that you provide to our community. So please get involved, share your experiences. And that is going to be another way in which you can actually contribute to the rich fabric of our university.
Keep the questions coming in. We see quite a few of them have landed here in our chat, our Q&A, and we'll get to those just as soon as we can. I do see that I want to mention, because we're on the topic of belonging, and each of you has received a message about registering for orientation and frog camp. All of our first semester abroad students will attend orientation and frog camp. We encourage you to do so. That's the first step of your sense of belonging here at TCU. The academic orientation, the social orientation. A couple of questions have come in about when do you enroll in your classes. Your pre-orientation modules will actually open in 2 days. So mark your calendar, pay attention to the messages that are coming in. And then after Thanksgiving, our academic advisors will reach out to you to have conversations about the advising piece of the puzzle. So do want to mention that as we were talking about the sense of belonging, it just simply starts before you even step foot on our campus. Okay, so TCU continues to evolve, and it's an exciting time to be a Horned Frog. Academics, research, campus, facilities, parking constraints, all the fun pieces. Chancellor Pullin, would you mind sharing a few priorities or initiatives that you're most excited about and how they'll impact our current and future Horned Frogs?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think everything, flows from our strategic plan, which is one of the boldest in the country. And what I love about the plan is that it starts with the word student. It's the very first word in our plan, and it has 4 pillars. And one is about growing, but in a very student-centered way, which I want to spend some time on. The second is about continuing to advance the opportunities for students and faculty to come together and be co-creators of knowledge through research and creative activities. The third is about a commitment, and this is, obviously something that is woven through the student experience, and that is our commitment to top-tier athletics. And then the fourth is about how do we engage with the community in a way that gives students more opportunity than ever before because of the relationships that we've built through community leaders and alumni and industry partners and on and on and on. So from a student-centered growth perspective, some of the things I'm really excited about is every time we grow a little bit, we get a little bit better. You can just kind of trace it back, over the last, say, 2 decades, just to pick. Some really tremendous, every time we've been able to grow, we've been able to pour more resources into our students and improve the quality of the education, the quality of the student experience, and importantly, the quality of the outcomes upon graduation and what that springboard looks like for the rest of one's career in life. And that's our intention in this case. We're building new academic facilities. We are creating a new entertainment entertainment district for our campus that our students will enjoy. We have new residence halls, and we continue to every year rank in the top 10 residence halls in the country. It's not just some stark dorm. Where it's a really place of comfort and a place that can feel like home, away from home in many respects, where we get people to connect and want to be on campus. In fact, we have a 2-year residency requirement in our residence halls for the first year and the second year students. But so many of our students, want to stay as juniors and seniors on campus because they do feel that engaged, community feel, and they do belong, and they are involved. And we just haven't had the space to allow juniors and seniors. And so we're trying to create a little bit more capacity. So, the students, if you want to stay on campus, you can, and many do. It also means that we're going to be hiring a lot of great world-class faculty. I'm very excited about that. Our plan over the next 10 years is to, on a net basis, hire over 500 new faculty and 550 new staff, which is going to allow us to do something that's really, really important, which is every time we get a little bit bigger, we are going to maintain our very enviable student to faculty and student to staff ratio. And our student to faculty ratio, this is why we have those great small class sizes, is 14-1. And then our staff to student ratio, again, I talk about what we're doing to connect and propel students beyond the classroom. Our staff ratio is 8 students to every staff. So those are 2 of the really most enviable, strongest ratios in the country. And we are committed to maintaining those throughout the course of our strategic plan.
That's great. I love the growth and the excitement behind it. And as an admission officer, when we get to admit more students, it's exciting. So
yeah, it's exciting and it's important. It's how we broaden our impact as a university. When I became the president, I really saw it firsthand. The amount of talent that we were leaving, on the table. So many great, strong students and families, just like those on this call. Because we didn't have the capacity to admit all that were qualified, and it always frustrated me. And then on the other end of it, say upon graduation, we have all of these amazing organizations, companies, or whatever that are thirsting for the opportunity to hire Horned Frog graduates, and they were kind of getting mad at me because we didn't have enough to meet their growth objectives. And so, in TCU, we work really hard to sit in between those two and swing the door of opportunity wide open for both. And so if we do that in a measured way, in a way that not only maintains but enhances quality, that it still allows us to be a value-centered university that operates, at the individual student level, which we are and will do, then we'll have a lot of success of creating more opportunity for students, families, employers, and broaden our impact in society all at the same time.
it really is hard to find a place that gives the level of personalized attention to the student that is our size, competes in our athletic conference, and does all that we do, both in and out of the classroom. Thanks for sharing the future of TCU. I think that we're all excited to be a part of it. We just want to welcome Quinn. Quinn is from Phoenix, Arizona. She's studying sports broadcasting, and she is currently at Franklin University. She's been on the call. So has Megan Robichaux, who is going to study social work. And welcome to TCU, Megan. She's from New Orleans, Louisiana, and she also is at Franklin University. I've seen Amy, and Amy had a question.
Go Saints.
Go Saints. Yeah, we've got a Saints fan in the house. Amy Nieva, she has asked a question because they received an email about their housing options. And she said, we got an email that we may be placed with upper division communities or study lounges, etc. And it doesn't seem like it would help us get fully immersed as incoming first year students. who took a first semester abroad. Can we address that? And I'd actually love to. Our housing is allocated at the moment, and we've got some students that are essentially going to trade places with you. We've got students who are outbound going to study abroad in the spring semester, students that are inbound. We don't have, for instance, a residence hall that is set aside specifically for first semester abroad students. While we would love to do that, we're building many of those as we speak. So our students will be placed in the available spaces, and what we have done to make sure that you are fully incorporated into our first year experience is things like getting together with our Frog Camp and orientation, having a university life course that is set just for you that can integrate your experiences abroad to your current college experiences, and we will help plug you into all of the clubs and organizations. There are some students who will be matriculating to TCU in the spring semester who haven't started abroad, and it's equally as important to us to onboard them in the same way that we would onboard you. Transfer students make up an electric part of our community. They make wonderful impact. They lean in different ways, and they bring lived experiences that are just a little bit different than the traditional student. And we're looking forward to you contributing in that way as well. Wanted to address that. Okay, we have we've got a few minutes left. If you have other questions, please feel free to pop those into the chat. So I want to remind you all that you have a MyTCU portal that will have much of the information that you seek. We've also recently sent a message to you kind of outlining all the dates and times that things should be hitting your inbox. Everything from financial aid offers to advising appointments, housing assignments, etc. And I know that those are all of the questions that we want answers to, and everything has to unfold for us in a stepwise way. And so we will be communicating those to you, and have hopefully managed your expectations with those, with messaging that's gone out. I do want to circle back to some of the questions coming in. And students often say that they choose TCU because it offers big opportunities and a spirited, close-knit community. From your perspectives, and Dr. Wormley, I'll kick this to you first, what truly sets TCU apart from other universities, and what do you hope students take away from their time here?
When I tell you this, and this is based on a lived experience that I've traveled to several universities throughout the United States. And when you look at all that TCU has to offer, we have a big town. We have the Dallas-Fort Worth community where there's so many opportunities for internships, jobs, a huge community to live in. You take into consideration that we have powerful athletics and all that brings to a campus, and you look at the fact that our community is a very close-knit community. So it feels as if you have the best of all the worlds. You have a close-knit, small town feel on campus in which everybody knows your name. That's a Cheers reference. And so you have a small town feel, but you have access to big town opportunities, whether it be for the workforce, whether it be for shopping, to shop, whether it be for the experiences on campus. And so we have all of that on campus, but we do it in a way that's unique to TCU. People call it the special sauce that we have. And we, for whatever reason, we have no idea how we made that special sauce, but we have it, in which every student feels connected to TCU. I've never owned so much purple in my life and wear it proudly, to the point that my kids are like, why are you always in purple? Because I am a part of this community. I love this community. I plan on retiring here at the ripe old age of 150. This only TCU will make people feel that way. I truly love this institution, and I know that our students here will love it as well. This is just something that we intentionally do on campus. When we are at the cabinet meetings, we're thinking about what can we do that's best for our students. Student-centered growth, the reason why in our strategic plan, students is first and will always be first in everything that we do. on campus. So I can't say as well as our chancellor says it, but we truly bring everything that a person can want at a college campus to life, but we do it in a way that only TCU can and only TCU does.
I love that. And at this day and age, if universities aren't growing, then they're at risk. And
Yes.
so I love the aggressive vision and the fierce focus on students that we have designed into the strategic plan and into the community. Chancellor Pullin, what do you hear most often from alumni about the impact that TCU has had on their lives?
I hear from them all the time on a variety of matters. But you know, I would say the most common response is Dr. So and so still there?
Hmm.
Because she transformed the way I thought about nursing or finance or whatever the subject matter is. And they were great because, sure, they were amazing in the classroom, but I got my first internship because, he or she wrote me a letter of recommendation or knew an alum that was doing the same thing that I aspired to do and picked up the phone and said, "Hey, we've got a current student that really reminds me of you and has some aptitude and aspirations that might be valuable to your organization. Would you take a chance and take a phone call and get to know that person and see if there's a good fit?" Those stories happen all the time. And what's great about that is not only that operationally that's happening and that it's working and that we're driving those outcomes and the return on investment, but that our alumni show such appreciation for their time and the relationships they built while being a student that they in turn want to pay it forward and make a similar investment in their time and talent and sometimes their philanthropic dollars that help us raise money for scholarships and those kinds of things. So to see that kind of full circle moment over and over and over again is a great reminder of why universities exist, the intergenerational relationships that are built, and that it really is a lifelong um, affiliation that will benefit lives, starting with yours.
I love that. There are so many unanswered questions when we start on our journeys that end up the inputs that are deposited throughout our time in college with the interpersonal relationships, with the challenge in the classroom, with some of the struggles that we overcome. We do end up in spaces where we can look back with gratitude and think about all of the impactful people who have come alongside us. And I think that as these students are starting their semesters in other places in Europe and then heading back to Texas, we just get the opportunity to craft that next chapter, and that's an exciting space for us. And we hope they get to come back and tell their stories here in the future. I do want to just mention to you all that I mentioned that the next steps is probably on your mind and that we've sent some communications to you. I mentioned the MyTCU portal that you all have access to. I also want to mention that if you have specific questions, please email us at transferfrog@tcu.edu. That shouldn't be a foreign email address to you. You should have used it by now at least once or twice. But we are happy to answer questions that you have in this process. I really want to thank our Chancellor and our Provost for spending time with us today. It's not often that we can commandeer two calendars that are very tightly packed and fit ourselves in there. But students, I just want you to know that this was not Mandy's idea from the Office of Admission. This idea was generated from Dr. Wormley and Dr. Pullin, or President. I do this every time, don't I? Dean, President, Chancellor, got it. Chancellor Pullin. um, and I know that it's important to them to communicate to you all how much they want you to be on our campus. I say that, and I also want you to look at your academic pursuits right now. check in A to Z, make sure that you're on track for meeting our transfer, admission, and potentially scholarship requirements so that we can invite you to campus and award a scholarship should you meet those eligibility requirements. We've vetted all of your classes ahead of time, so we know what you're taking. And if there are questions along the way, please reach out to us, and we'll leave it at that. Thank you for joining, and have a great night. And as always, we end with our Go Frogs.
Go Frogs. See you soon.
Take care.